Welcome everybody to Daytona in the Ferrari. Now, some of you may not know, some of you may do know that this Ferrari is quite twitchy. So, do start off the line, we have chosen hard tyres. It is a medium length race. So, hopefully by going for the hard tyres, it may last the full race. Or I'm going to have to pit towards the end for softs. I'm not too sure what everybody else has picked, to be fair, didn't really look. But as we come around the first corner, little bits of contact are made from the cars up in front. Not too chaotic yet. Ferrari goes inside of me, and I think that Ferrari's gone off to oblivion. Diving up the inside of the Porsche. Going around this corner now in second gear and staring out the other side. Like I said, this Ferrari's back end is very twitchy. I don't know if it's my tune. I've been playing around with it for most of the afternoon, trying to get it to behave itself. And I am quite struggling, to be fair. I don't know if it's a characteristic of this car, but yeah, it's quite playful at low speeds. Going around this corner now, just a touch of the throttle, bit of tail out happiness, and away we go. Keeping over to the right hand side, looking over the cone to start, braking down to second gear, getting rear-ended by the Porsche behind, and yeah, this is not a good start already, as they are pushing me towards the wall. Nothing like a little bit of contact there, so I'm going to go up the inside here. Looking to make a move, getting a bit sketchy on what they're doing on the right hand side. I wonder if they're on controller, that's why you're up and down a little bit. Looking out for the crane on the right hand side, there is a sign just before it. There it is, that's our braking point. I'm braking a little bit earlier because I don't want to get tangled up going too wide. That's probably what the BMW M8 did, and meet the wall. It's very, very dicey. You've got to really trust the car beside you as well as your own driving to be able to make that too wide through there. It is very tight. Clearly not trusting the car to my right. I'd rather surrender that position and just catch up again in a moment. Although I did surrender a little bit too much, I must say. Again, it's trying to get the power back down as we're coming out of that corner and getting the Ferrari to behave itself and not do donuts in the middle of nowhere for no reason. Braking down here, down to fourth gear, then down into third gear, turning in nice and tight. Trying to stay away from the track limits, accelerating out of the corner, rub the curb on the right, rub the curb on the left, come back over to the left hand side as soon as the cones start, brake parallel to the cones starting, down to second gear, turning in and start applying the power on the way out, and you can actually go over this line here. It is within the track limits realm. Keeping to the right hand side here, turning in, pretty much full throttle through here, but I do back off a little bit. I have very, very little downforce on this car at the moment. So I don't have the bottle to go through it flat out on hard tyres. Whether it'll make it or not, I'm quite dubious, because even though I let off, it still is just within the limits. The Porsche goes very wide as they go through that corner, so I'm accelerating out the other side and make that move work. 2.3 seconds away from the car up in front, and then the Porsche behind is 0.5 seconds away, so they are going to be in my slipstream. And they are going to be gaining, which is not always the best of things to happen. Braking at the crane on the right hand side, down to fourth gear. The Porsches are braking, turning. Ooh, that was close. That was close. There they are. Good race. Yep, as you go through sideways through there. Oh, dearie me. Now, you're going to have to let me know down in the comments below. Do you think that was a purposeful dive bomb to take me out? Or do you think that was an accident where they totally misjudged the braking zone? Do you know what it's like when you get fixated on what another car in front's doing or where you are on the track, not actually realizing you're passing that braking zone? Mistakes do happen, not everything is intentional, but let me know down in the comments below what you think about it, and at the end of the video we'll also show the clip from their perspective, so that might also help out in your decision making through there. Heading on to lap 5, coming towards the bus stop. I'm starting to look at what my tyres are looking like right now. A few people have gone into the pits. A couple of the cars up in front have chosen not to yet. So I wonder if they're on the medium tyres stretching it for one more lap, or on the hard tyres and stretching it for another 2 more laps. Then going to go on a soft compound after that. Either way, at the precise moment, I have a good bit of tyres left, I reckon. Maybe, give or take. And I'm also tempted to see if this Ferrari can do a no-stop race. It's in my head at the moment. I'll see if I can claw up a few positions. Everybody in front has gone into the pits. I'm in position 1, guys. Oh, the question is now, can I hold on to this position? as we're braking now for this corner. We are, I would say, about 40% through our tyres with 3 laps to go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 laps to go. I should learn to do maths, that'd be quite helpful. 4 laps to go, holding on to position 1, 14 seconds behind the car is. What the biggest number you got to think about now is when they come out the pits, how far away they are. 18 seconds away, and they've got accelerate, so 19 seconds away. I got 4 laps to lose 19 seconds. Oh, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight, and I don't know whether I'll be able to pull it off. It'd be great to know what you guys think. Do you reckon I could pull it off? And by increasing my chances of pulling it off is if you hit that like button, it increases my chances by a good 50%. I don't know if it's true, but there's no harm in trying. Thankfully, 17 seconds away from position 2, 18 from position 3 with a 4.5 second penalty. Position 4 has a 2.6 second penalty. Everybody is quite close to each other, so hopefully if they all start battling and incidents incur, then we might be able to get out of this out the other side relatively in one piece. By lap 8, well, coming towards the end of lap 8, you can see one of my tyres are already showing moderate wear. The rest are on minor wear. I've lost also 10 seconds, which is a lot to lose, especially at this crucial point of the race where I have one more lap to go. I have both rear tyres now on moderate wear, and this Ferrari, being as twitchy as it is, this lap I needed to have the most time on it, and losing 10 seconds to 2 laps is not good. So coming around this corner now in 3rd gear, trying to get the car to behave. As you can see, I'm going very slow through there, and you can see the Ferrari has a big rear end problem. Coming around this corner now in 3rd gear, I'm going so slow, I'm just absolutely sliding through there and accelerating out the corner we go. We lost 2 seconds on those 2 corners alone. 3 seconds as they are 3.5 seconds away. I don't think I'm going to be able to hold on to position 2. I don't know, it's going to be so close. I don't want to defend it either, because if they give me the slightest of touches, I'm going to be sent off to oblivion. But there's a very few amount of corners to go. The hardest part is, though, is coming up in a moment. What's this? Ghosted car. Oh, they're DQ'd. I didn't know you could continue the race if you're disqualified. Ah. Okay, well, they're disqualified, and I've also lost position 1. Okay, 2 seconds away to the car behind, but bearing in mind they also have a 4.5 second penalty, so I have 6.5 seconds really to hold on to this position, and I have the bus stop to go through with really worn rear tyres. I'm certainly not going to be able to catch up position 1 unless they fall off the track on this corner, which would be really helpful for us right now, but I don't think they're that committed to make a kind of mistake like that. There's a bit of smoke. They just cut the corner. Corvette in my rear view mirror. They are pushing, but they're not forcing me out of the way, which is actually really nice of them. Thank you very much, buddy. I have absolutely destroyed tyres. All my tyres are destroyed, all on moderate wear. Thank you for being so patient going through the bus stop with me there, buddy. Max 27, you don't know how grateful I am to you right now. But I'm also leading. If you didn't have that penalty, I would have still won anyway. Look at that, across the line in position 2. Non-stop challenge that I invented myself just now has paid off massively. Our next race is going to be at Laguna Seca, and it's going to be incredible. It is a right chaotic mess. But before we do get there, I'd like to take a moment out to thank our channel members, which is Andy Good, Jeffrey Anderson, DMC Motorsport, Sigmatic, Daniel Adams, John Burns, AK47 and Uncle Boney. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, and if you're enjoying what you're watching here, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. On to Laguna Seca. Now, I have tuned this car a little bit more. I have added some downforce to it, removed a lot of the front downforce, added a good bit to the rear downforce, as it is a more cornering track than it is high speed. You want to carry the speed through the corners, and the only way I can carry speed through corners is by having the back end to behave itself. And by having the back end behave itself, I need some downforce, because it does handle really well. Breaking into the first corner now, a little bit scrumptious all around us, bit of door banging here and there. Ferrari's going off, and thankfully they ghosted. Cars all around. Oh, blimey, I'm sent off. Thank you there, Porsche. That is much appreciated. Just send your way through and stuff the consequences. Okay, more contact. It's just everybody's everywhere. Thankfully though, we only got pushed off the track a little bit and not sent off to oblivion, as more cars are really pushing their way through and not worrying about the consequences. A bit like what's ever happened up there. By the looks of it, that was the car that sent me flying. So they've gone off track as well. So what goes around does come around. You just got to take your time. It might not be this race, it be a race further down the line. No point sweating at a bit of contact here and there. You know, it is what it is. Coming up to the top of this hill now, braking down to second gear, turning in, almost not making it. Through the screw we go and down out the other side. I do have the Porsche breathing on me right now. Again, I've chosen to go for the hard tyres. And the reason I've chosen to go for the hard tyres and a lot of smoke up in front is because I know that this track has the very, very long pit exit. And if I can behave with these tyres and look after them, that means I can do the whole race without pitting. And that is my cue to jumping ahead of all of these lots that I'm stuck behind at this precise moment. And I'm actually struggling really because of the hard tyres and the really poor handling characteristics of this Ferrari. Again, it could be my tune or a skill issue, but still me and this Ferrari do not gel, and so hopefully that will be my get out of jail free card, as I'm becoming part of a sandwich as I'm getting pushed around. That the poor Corvette got sent off into the gravel pit, or the sand pit, sorry. I'm so used to saying gravel now that yeah. Anyway, this is what I mean. Samuel 442861 pushed me into the Corvette, and that pushed the Corvette off the track. It's yeah, not many people are worried about the consequences in this race, clearly. Braking to touch at the 200 meter board, 4th gear, round that corner, 95 to 100 miles per hour, and up the hill we go. As we approach the top of this hill, and braking just before it, down the 2nd gear, not as early as the GT40, but that was my mistake there, buddy. I didn't mean to punch into the back of you. So thankfully though, you managed to keep control of the car, and no harm, no foul. Come around here now in 3rd gear, accelerating out the other side. I'm trying to see if I can make a move on this GT40. I want to try and get past it somehow, and then I can actually get a bit of pace back up. Braking down 2nd gear, because really what I'm thinking of right now is I want to be further up the pack, so when everybody starts pitting, I have a better chance towards the end of the race. Being stuck down here in position 14, 18 seconds away. Position 1 is too far back. Now I know I'm not going to claw those 18 seconds back in, but I certainly do not want to lose any more to that either. Not too sure what happened up in front. The BMW's just come out of Ghost, so we'll be braking at the 100 meter board, down in 3rd gear, rub that curb on the right, start accelerating out the corner, keeping to our left hand side into 4th gear here, just a touch of the brakes, not as slow as the GT40 up in front. I've got to get past this car. And around the right hand side we go, looking out for the 200 meter marker, braking down to 2nd gear, and the GT40 has apex syndrome and turns in on me. I pushed them semi out of the way. I couldn't brake any harder really, and luckily enough I was not destroyed during that race, and neither was they. There's more of a reshuffle of positions on the track, as this car, what is it, a Dodge Viper, blows past me and makes a mockery of the whole situation. Right, and thankfully the GT40 also didn't retaliate. I saw them come up in the rearview mirror and I was getting a bit nervous, I must say. Come around here in 3rd gear, touch on the 4th, rub that curb on the right, back over to the left hand side, braking down to 3rd gear here, rub that curb on the right and start accelerating out of the corner, back over to the right hand side, looking out for that 200 meter marker, braking just before it, down to 2nd and turning in. Now, we need to look at a way of getting really some time back, because now we've lost another 4 seconds from the last time from this last lap actually. 4 to 5 seconds, that is not good enough. I've really got to try and claw this back in. Start of lap 5, I managed to really catch up to the cars up in front, especially this Corvette to my left hand side. As I go up the inside to make another move, they turn in on me, smash me off the track, which sends them a bit lappy, and off they go into the wall. And because the Forza penalty system is extremely good, I got the 1 second penalty for avoidable contact. As they turned into me on a corner, I was already on the inside of, and because of that, they went off track. Yeah, that's really fair, but whatever. It's only 1 second. Have been dealt with a lot worse, and thankfully I wasn't dealt a lot worse, so 1 second I can live with. But let me know what your thoughts about that whole penalty down in the comment section below. Be really interested to find out what you think. As we break into this corner now, front wheels are locking up and accelerating out the other side. Lap 6 is where the majority of drivers are now choosing to pit, so I presume they would have been on medium tyres. I would love to be much further away than that car is right now. I would rather them be starting the pits, or at least getting tyres put on, not towards the exit of the pit. So I know these last few laps are going to be really, really crucial here. There's only me and the car up in front that has chosen not to pit. I'm not too sure what the third car is, because if I'm position 2, that might be a ghosted car or a disqualified car. Find out when we get to them. But position 1 is 4.5 seconds ahead with a 0.1 second penalty. So hopefully they are not running the idea that I'm using, and they are going to pit as well. Looking at XX Reaper behind, they are 6.3 seconds away. That is not enough to hold on to this position. It really isn't. That is a ghosted car. I need at least about 17 seconds, I'd recommend, for this to work. It really is, because the last lap or the last 2 laps are absolutely awful and you lose so much time. And they're already clawing me in right now. They are on fresh rubber. I'm on worn, hard tyres, and it's going to be so hard to keep them at bay. And I really don't want to lose this position. And hopefully, like I said, the car up in front does go into the pits, because they're choosing to stay out for another lap. So their tyres have got to be just as worn as mine, maybe a little bit less. So I would guess that they will go into the pits for soft tyres at the end, where everybody else has gone into the pits for another set of mediums, which are going to be much better on the last lap than any of my tyres are going to be, because they made their tyres last 6 laps. So right, with all that out of the way and all that thinking really rattling my brain, 4 seconds away behind right now. It's still eking me in. Lap 9, Reaper is 1 second away. We are at the beginning of lap 9, whilst GXR Prouty 86 is 4.7 seconds away. So we've not gained on that car, or really lost out substantially, I would say. But the Corvette behind did look to make a move. I kept over to the right side, stayed out of their way, and thankfully we actually came to an agreement that I stayed to the right, they went to the left, and we both understood what we was doing, because I could clearly see in the they was unsure what I was doing. So when you're in that situation, pick a side as soon as you can, get over to it, and let the car behind overtake as soon as they unfairly as they can, without just getting tangled up with you trying to decide what you're doing. Pretty much what I did, where I was unsure what their position was. Doesn't matter, don't care about their position, get yourself over, get yourself out of the way. But my rear tyres are on, mine away. Front tyres are holding on. Nope, one's gone, both gone onto mine away. And thankfully GXR Prouty is in the pits. Now I've got 2 laps really to keep a innocuous Lucas. Oh my gosh, it could have been a lot easier to pronounce. I'll give up on that one. 5.7 seconds away. Well, technically 4.6 seconds away really, because I've got 1 second penalty. And this is going to be the real final drawdown, whether I keep them at bay or not. It's going to be so tough to do this. Oh, I don't know if I can pull it off. I mean, as long as I get a podium, because I'm looking at position 4 right now, is 14.2 seconds away. But anyway, I've got 2 laps to go, which is another 3 minutes of racing to make this work. 3 minutes to lose 14 seconds. It's going to be tight. I mean, my rear tyres are on minor wear. They're going to be on moderate wear anytime soon, because the drop-off is so quick. Oh dear. Well, we're holding them at 4.8 seconds away. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be real interesting. It wasn't really meant to be, I don't think. We are at 0.6 seconds away. All the tyres are on moderate wear. I can't hold on to this thing much longer. I've technically lost the position anyway due to my penalty. So they do a last minute dive up the inside at the corkscrew, which to be fair was more than fair to do so. It was a great place to do it. I have to brake far earlier than they do because my tyres are so knackered. And yeah, they gained that position. It was on the final few corners, guys. Final few corners. Oh, braking at a 200-meter board. Oh, we did keep 6 seconds away from position 4. So we have got podium, which I think is brilliant. And I think it's been an epic race up to now. But let's take a look at the crash cams and determine what really happened with this Porsche. As we're going around the outer banking, catching onto a good bit of slipstream delivered by my car up in front. We're going to look at the crane on the right hand side, and we are going to go straight past that braking point and straight through. I don't think there was any malicious intent on that situation. I think they got fixated on a situation and totally forgot about the braking zone, because you do see him try to turn for it, realise it's not going to happen, and flip the car the other way, and lo and behold that happened. But thankfully they didn't get disqualified for it though, because I know sometimes if you do send it through there, you do end up with a DQ. So what happened with me and the Ferrari then? Because I sent that Ferrari off to oblivion, and from my perspective they came back onto the track as I was going through, and didn't get enough space. But that was the minute of touches right there, and I sent the poor Ferrari off to oblivion. A weird bit of funkiness there though, but I think yeah, that was an over-exaggeration by the game engine of the situation that occurred, where we would have just rubbed really. Let's take a look at this Porsche that sent me off the track, and how did it happen? We're going to go up the inside here, nowhere to go, and just literally barged me out of the way like I wasn't even there. That's all I can say about that situation. I clearly don't exist, and I'm feeling hurt about the whole situation. But the hurt doesn't last for all that long, because by barging people out of the way and not caring about what's going on around you, a situation happens again that's in my favour as they turn over the front end of the Corvette, which then ultimately puts them in a tyre barrier. I do think it was a bit weird, so let's take a look from the Dodge Viper's perspective. Yeah, they literally just came straight over. It looked totally different from the Porsche's perspective, where they came over gradually, but from the Dodge Viper perspective, they just yeeted themselves over. This is another corner that's very difficult to get right if you're going through two abreast, and you've really got to manage the speed and trust the people around you, else things like that happen. Surprisingly enough though, this Porsche isn't too satisfied with the Porsche up in front, and give them a little bit of a love tap as they're going through the corkscrew, which ultimately almost puts themselves off the track, which is quite surprising. Like, you know, it's not a place you could really overtake confidently as the corkscrew. It is really, really hard. But ultimately they go too deep into this corner and deep into the sand as well. Before we go though, I would like to point out this clip is where I sent the Corvette off into the gravel pit. You see this Porsche really pushing their way through and trying to gain a position by using their car as a ram, and see, contact there pushes me into the Corvette and sends me flying, and I'm trying to regain control. I'll go back into the side of the Porsche, and thankfully I stay alive, and sadly the Porsche stays alive as well. They also try the same tactic on the GT40 up in front, turning in here, just give them a little touch through the corner and not giving enough space when racing really, let's be honest. The Corvette GT40 sorry does dive out of the way, knowing what this corner is going to be like, thus trying to stay alive. Now this Corvette is a bit of an odd one, especially with the BMW up in front. BMW goes straight off and into the wall. Clearly a little bit of wheel spin coming out of the corner, especially as it dropped off the curb. But we're going to fast forward to this first corner now. BMW does go in quite late, and the Corvette just smashes them straight off the track and carries on like nothing ever happened. Now before you all do run away, I have been donated a controller to be given away to a random channel member. Now this controller is out of box, it hasn't been used, it is like brand new, it's just the box has been opened. If you'd like to be part of the draw, you must become a channel member, so click that join button down below. And if you have any further questions, please ask down in the comment section down below as well. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time. Goodbye.